to Silverrun Forest Farm. We are into October. Today is harvest day for the corn. With any luck, the corn's certainly ready to harvest. Jake's been down this morning and checked on it. He's got the worker going, still seeding the barley you can see over there. Much to his surprise, the barley that we planted in the last game day has struck already. Expected a little bit more time, so looks like we won't be rolling that field. But what we will be doing, we need, in order to harvest the corn, we need to go and pick up the header that is ordered from Agco or Allis Chalmers for the corn, and that's going to require about $30,000 or thereabouts. So the first order of business is to sell a few things. Now luckily we've got a few things to sell. Oops, we appear to have hooked onto the side of our wrapper there, but we can sell some of this silage snack, so that's all fermented for us. We need to first of all separate the bales, so we should be able to do that. I reckon we'll fill the one trailer load up and see how we go with that. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think 3 more, if I counted correctly. I may not have. But we should be able to pick these up now and stick them on the trailer here. If we're lucky, yes we can. And that'll make it pretty easy to run down to the store and sell them. While we're doing that, the Kubota will continue seeding the barley field over there, so that can progress through the course of the day, and once we've got enough cash for the corn header, we can then run round to the field that we've done on the side of the hill. We'll do the hillside one first and then come back and finish off in the water side. So that's the plan of attack. Let's see how we go here. We're up to 8. How many did I cut? I think I cut the right number. It's 9, 10, and 4. So that'll be a good load. We can pick them up pretty quickly and easily there. And the other thing we'll do, we might hang on. I know we're not at the top price for the silage, so we can also potentially sell a trailer load of straw bales, and the combination of the two should give us the money that we need. Looks like we've just kicked over an operating hour on this trailer, so that cost us a little. There we go. So let's back you up. The only place was that 13, was it? The only place we've got to sell these is the farmers market, so whoops, Didn't judge that very well. Now we can go operating position. Let's head down the farmer's market and see how we go. Try and get down there before our worker in the field runs out of cash and starts to worry about his cash balance. Seed that we planted here the other day came up just fine, so we've now got that nice grass strip all the way down the edge, which is excellent. So it's quite exciting to be getting the corn in today. This will be the first harvest off the field that we constructed in the forest. So be interesting to see how it yields. Now let's see here. Pretty sure these have to go on that spot there. And they do. There we go, 31,000. 28,300 for the bales and 2,700 for the environmental score. So as it turns out, that'll be enough to cover the cost of the header. So notwithstanding that, I think we'll, just to make sure we've got enough to keep worker running on the seeding and for a little bit of labour to help us with cartage and the like on the harvest, we might just sell a load of straw bales. So they should be as easy to load up and sell as the silage. So we'll let Jake get that done and we'll check back in with him when he sells the straw. And just while we were knocking the stacks over so these were easy to grab, the rain has started. That's not a complete surprise. Jake was expecting rain around 9 o'clock, so it's a little bit early, and if the forecast holds to what he heard on the radio over breakfast, it should only be with us for an hour, so that's not a big drama. It's going to take an hour or so to by the time we get these across to the farmers market and sell them, and back to pick the harvester up to go down and collect the header. So there's plenty of fiddling around to do before we actually get on to the field and harvesting. So at this stage, not too worried about the rain. It should everything should dry out quite nicely. There's cars through. They do want to come through. There we go. Oh, don't stop there, champ. Why do they do that? They get in front of you and then they decide they're not going. Accident waiting to happen. Right, so let's just sell the straw, and this should then comfortably give us enough money to run through the day. While that's unloading, if we have a look at our little stock check, we'll see. So we've got some plenty of barley that we want to sell, but there's still we reckon we can get another $100 or so improvement in the price. Oats we are hanging on to for the horses. Milk, we've got a little bit to sell when we get some time. It's not the priority today, but there's more silage kicking around with quite a bit of value tied up in it, and a little bit of improving in the price, and straw can still improve a little bit. So it's there we go. Actually, that was a little better than I thought it might be. The 9,380 and then another 10% for the environment. So that's come up pretty well. Let's put you up. Have you not folded up? That's better. So we'll just duck back down here. We'll leave this down with the silage, because at some point in the next month or two we will sell another trailer load of silage, and in fact we might need that to be able to have enough to lease a sugar beet harvester. The sugar beet's not ready to harvest today, so that timing's actually quite good for us. We can get the corn sorted without the pressure of the right sugar beet there staring at us, which just helps a little. So let's just drop the trailer off here. We'll actually leave the tractor here. We can duck across and just check on the seeding. So here we go. The Kubota's making a pretty good fist of the seeding. We've got plenty of seed. It looks like we'll get all the way through the field, actually. And looks like we're on the headland. As you can see, overnight the crop has come up, which is only a little bit annoying. It just means we do some damage around the edge, which is a bit of a nuisance. That wasn't expected when I thought on 2-day months we would have a one overnight's grace, but it doesn't look like we did. So it's just a bit of a shame. As you can see, it probably, if we did it ourselves, we would get a better yield here than running this headland, which sort of pretty much guarantees us a missing stripe around the field. But I think we're going to have to live with that for this season. Let's see here. No, maybe it's put just reseeded barley back in. We might be lucky. So either way, that's going to finish off quite nicely. So we'll come down to our little silo complex. If you didn't catch up with the last episode, Jake bit the bullet. Let's duck across before the train comes. And realised that we owned this land, bought ourselves a silo complex, and got set up with some crop storage now. Also at the end of the last episode, we hadn't seen the invoice for the fencing. That came in between episodes, and turned out the fencing was about $16,500. So Jake's gone ahead and paid that. That was why we were a bit short on cash this morning. But we'll take our Gleaner. Let's head down the store. We can use the back road on the farm to get to the cornfield. So with any luck, we can just pick the header up directly. I think it's only about the same width as the harvester, maybe a fraction wider. It will be a fraction wider. We'll see how that goes. We might come down with the ute afterwards and organise a header trailer for it. But let's get going up to the field. So Eddie was really helpful. Turns out through contacts in AGCO, who these days have Allis Chalmers, he was able to come across an original 8-row 6-metre corn header for us. So we're going to buy that. And that should do us just nicely. Yeah, that'll be a little bit wide to run on the road, but hopefully it'll work treat for our harvest without sticking the back of the auger through the front of the store window. There we go. We should be able to run up the back road here to our field. Only a little bit more work done on the timber, but you can see there's still a lot of timber on this area to clear before we can be cutting a field out of there. But he's made a good start on it. Now let's just check the road. So we're at this point, so we can go to our right because the field we want's round the back here. And we'll take the low road because that'll bring us round to the bottom of the field eventually. This isn't land that we own through here, so we'll just take here a little bit of a shortcut and keeping us off the highway. Mind you, the road's in pretty good nick, so we're not bouncing around too much, and there's enough logging traffic comes through here over the years to keep the undergrowth back from the edge, so we're not in any real danger of snagging our new header. And just up here, so just on the right here is where we would normally come in. And just on the left here, we should see our field. And there it is. Corn's all golden. So, we'll pop down our header. Let's see how we go up the hill. Little steeper than we want. We wouldn't want to be attacking it directly up the hill, but as long as we work with the terrain, I think we'll be fine. Let's just see how we go. Might be a bit slow cutting this headland. Right on the limit of what's feasible, and that's part of the experiment we're running as we Jake puts the farm in this sort of terrain, just trying to figure out what's workable and what isn't. Just keep an eye on the brakes, make sure they don't overheat as we run down the hill here. Last thing we need is a fire in the crop. Just get those ones on the end. Straighten ourselves up. And the weather forecasters were on the money. The rain shower was only short and it cleared away just nicely for us. So that's excellent. Now it looks like the first headland is about going to be just over a quarter, maybe a third of the tank. So with any luck, if we cut the second one out, we should then be able to just put a worker on going across the slope while Jake runs back and grabs the truck and a trailer. It's so far so good. Coming along nicely. The corner's a little bit tight. That's a third, so we'll comfortably make it around this this headland, making good time. Now, potentially, if one of the crop prices kicks up a little bit, that might give us selling some of the crop, even if it's a fraction early, might just give us an extra boost financially, which means we could buy a self-propelled, lease a self-propelled harvester for the sugar beet. That's kind of Jake's preference. He just thinks that the self-propelled, given the terrain we're operating in, will be a fraction safer than the trailed unit and a little bit easier to manage, given that we're experimenting. So there's a couple that he's got his eye on. We can have a look at those in the catalogue in just a sec. Looks like our seeding has finished down on that other field. So given that the crop's up in it, we're not going to worry about rolling it partially. It can go another year without being rolled. We're up to 57% here. So we might go to the top of the hill. Terrain angle, something like that. So that's 220 degrees. That might be the go. Something like that's pretty much going to be across the slope all the way. Let's see how you go there. And will you turn and go back down the hill? That's always the test. Goodness only knows why you turned on the crop, but it looks like you will, so let's go get a trailer. Jake's been hoping a trailer that he can put on the prime mover would come up somewhere in the local area on the second-hand market, but so far nothing. There's the sugar beet there, looking quite good, but just not quite ready to harvest. But it'll be an interesting little strip nonetheless. We could take a cut off that grass if we get a spare moment, but for now we'll just let that sit there. There's plenty of clearing that we can do if we run short of activities, but the priority will be that new field down near Eddie's before we get back into this area here. Let's see. Let's bring you up round this way. Just missed a little bit at the end, but that's not too bad. Let's see if we can unload you before you get to the end there. If not, we might have to, oh yeah, you might stop. Very well behaved driver we picked up on this occasion, so. It's probably getting on for half the field done, so with any luck, the next tank will complete it and we can head down to the big field by the water. So 9,500 litres, quite a handy pickup. Get out of the way of the harvester. Just under half a trailer load, so that works perfectly. If we jump in here into the catalogue, this is the trailed harvester we would use, and we'd have no trouble pulling that. And at 98,000 we'd need a about 5,000 to lease that, so that's definitely affordable. And we would need also a topper to take the heads off. The other alternative, which we probably can't price, is to grab something along these sort of lines. The Panther would do the job, much more capacity, of course, but we don't have enough money. So the leasing cost for this is going to be up in the 20 to 25,000 range, I would estimate. And there's either the Panther or the Holmer, which needs a header, topper header on it as well, so which would bring it up to a similar sort of price as the Panther. So one way or another, it's much cheaper to go with the trailed solution, and if we could very easily end up in that mode, so we'll just wait and see what happens. It looks like there's only a couple of rows left. So in cab we get a bit of a sense of the angle of the hill. We looks like we've judged it reasonably well for the run across the line. So we're just about finished. We'll have probably about half a tank, which is not too bad. These older style cabs are a bit more Spartan than the newfangled modern jobs, but we're still getting the job done. And the weather's pretty kind to us today. We can't complain about that either. Alrighty-o. Just one little row here to tidy up. Come and get you. We're going to have a couple of stalks left right on the end there for the way back. Perfect. Our auger out. We should be able to drop this load right in the back of the trailer. Perfect. So we'll fold up, and with any luck we'll be able to get the truck and put our worker in the truck and get him to follow us. Try not to spear the back of the cab. Get him to follow us back round to the yard. Make sure we've got plenty of turning room for the truck and trailer. It's pretty heavy in this terrain with all that corn on board. We don't want to be driving over our almost ready sugar beet there. That would be a disaster. Convenient little shortcut back to the farm. Now if we can just squeak across the road without the local constabulary taking an interest, we will be fine. Just pause here and go in and empty the truck. There we go. quick as you like. It just might be a little bit tighter around that side than we anticipated. Let's see. Not an ideal exit that we've created for this vehicle combination, but we'll get out there. Looks like there's just a couple of little bits to tidy up on the corners for that seeding, so we can go and do that once we get the harvester sorted on this field. So let's turn you on. Just carve ourselves up a spot here in the corner. Now let's see what sort of a courseplay job you come up with. It's all in the right spot. Let's open the generator. 1 tool, 5.8. I think it's actually 6. Number of headlands. Let's do 3 headlands. You can do sharp corners. That looks pretty good. And it's starting pretty much in front of us here. So let's see where you... Perfect. So that'll work. Let's go check in on our seeder. So that corner looks pretty good. So it looks like it's only the really tight one over near the railway line that needs some work, but we'll drive round there the long way. Let's get this bit. Don't feel a need to go in and get that fraction on the field. Or this corner here. So it's just this little tiny bit to tidy up at this top end. So apart from it striking in the rollover of the calendar month, everything's gone pretty much according to plan for the seeding. We were planning to roll it, but next year we'll just get it all done in a calendar day. Now we do have small weeds currently in that barley field, but Jake's current thought process is we do have a hoe. We might let the field come up completely and potentially run the weeder over it next time when we're dealing with a full field of crop. Let's pop over, we'll give this a quick spray and put it away in the shed. Seeding done till the spring. Dirt gets in everywhere. Mind you, the Kubota's looking pretty shiny. All things being considered. Where are we going to drop this? And pop you just in the spot that you came out of with any luck. There we go. Oops. It's the truck in the way. Potentially with the harvester by the looks of it. Come on. Turn. That'll do. Let's pop you out over here for now. Out of the weather, seeing you're all nice and clean. And let's get back to the waterside field. You're blocked because you want an unload. That's the issue. There we go. So a headland is a tank on the harvester on this field with corn. So that suggests we're going to need to empty the trailer at the end of this next go round. Are you going to sort yourself out, or you think you're actually blocked off the field there? Oh, you're not allowed to drive over the crop you haven't harvested. That's what the issue will be. So if we just stop you for a second and get that stalk. On with those. Now you should be good to go. That's excellent. Oops, I put you on the third headland. That was unintentional. So let's see how we go if we put the truck onto course play with the recent update. So if we create a job in course play, unload the combine. We're on the field we want, so it's defaulted to the target position and the field position. And the unloader we want is the grain silo. And that should be all we need. Unload combine. So what's going to happen here? Empty went over 85%, so the next load off the combine will put us over 85%. So we'll see what happens when the combine, which is cutting the third headland rather than the second headland due to an error I made. When he gets round his settings, Stop monoline combine. Field work. That should always be fine. Okay. So when you get up here, you will also be over 85%, and we'll see if you call the truck. If not, it's a very short trip for us to do the driving ourselves. I'm just curious. Now, he has called him. The only downside is he's driving through the crop. So at 80% was the trigger I had set. And the good news is when he gets up here a bit, we'll be back out of the crop and all should be good. The only reason the truck's in the crop is I sent the harvest around the wrong headland. Turn around at some point. Looking for the cut-in point for your land. Which if we zoom back out, we can probably see the course that you're... So this is a new mode in course play. You get the blue dot and it just shows you the piece of the course that you're currently on. And it's gone around the third headland twice because we messed up the second headland. No, it's gone around that twice because it needs to get over here to the start of the up and down section, which we're going to take now. There we go. So he should straighten up. And off he goes. Now that he's harvesting again, we should get the truck back. The only thing I don't understand is why the truck is in the crop. I believe I have the truck settings. I don't believe I have the truck settings. I reckon you've gotten lost in the crop now. Unload combine is what you should be doing. That's, you've been called. If we have a look, you should be not in the fruit. Per custom fields. So you're just showing all the signs of being more than a little bit confused. Probably by the existence of that undone headland. I think that's what's causing the problem. So trying to find a path that doesn't drive through the crop. Ideally, but then ending up having to is just proving a little taxing. With any luck, he's going to head up here. And sort himself out. And then the acid test, can we make it to the silo? So we can get crop in the trailer even if we do hit the auger with our stack. Not the most ideal demonstration of courseplay today, but sometimes you can't script it. And we need to be unloaded, that's correct. You've turned off for reasons I don't understand. We'll go and order into you. You're gonna hopefully cut us a line out. Excellent. One stalk's not gonna kill me. So yes, I have crop destruction on for when Jake's driving, rather than one of our workers. And we haven't quite got the truck bit sorted. But what we might do to give ourselves a chance here is jump back in the combine and get rid of this second headland that keeps causing the combine issues because the crop is where it doesn't expect. Not to put you down, turn you on. Let's run around and get rid of the second headland and give it a fair go. So now that we've cleared out that second headland, we can put ourselves back on the course, and by selecting the blue option that I was talking about before, you can see it's a little bit easier and less cluttered to get yourself back on the course you want. And then if we go with nearest waypoint, we should be good to go. So we can turn you off. We had to unload up the top here, but we'll give the truck one more go now that the headlands are cleared properly, and see if it handles the call up better from the harvester. So let's go back around. Unload combine is correct. Let's just create job, unload combine. That's what we want. Target position, field position. The grain silo is flashing, so that's the one we want. So let's just start you. And you should sit there and wait until you get called by the combine at 80%, which will be in a little while. So we'll come back when the call comes in. So it looks like at 70% it started to move. It's decided at 75% that it's full, and it's going to sit and wait. I don't understand why all of a sudden at 75 the harvester is full, but it appears to much more successfully have called the truck on this occasion. Possibly because there's only room for 75% in the trailer. Could be the reason. I wonder. Truck wants to be manually unloaded again. I wonder if that's because I didn't turn that on. Will you go to the grain silo? Or can you not resolve a course to the grain silo? That's what your issue is. That could be the case. Okay. It's easy enough for us to do it. And it's looking like we've got an afternoon shower, so we're going to have to come back next time to finish the corn harvest by the looks, because we don't want to be harvesting in the rain. So that'll do it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Look forward to catching you next time when Jake finishes this field and probably starts out on the sugar beet. Stay safe. See ya.